It's International Yoga Day. It's International Yoga Day. It's a summer solstice. It's Father's Day. Wow. So, International Yoga Day, I want to talk to you about some of my favorite books re- regarding the subject of yoga. I'm Chelsea, if you don't know me. I've been studying yoga. I'm a student of yoga for 20 years, and um, I study it for mental and physical therapy and for social justice purposes. And I was originally fascinated by being able to use yoga and asana uh, instead of having to get surgeries and use pills for whatever ailment. So this is the first book we'll start with, which is in regards to that. This book is called The Science and Art of Yoga in Mental and Neurological Healthcare. This is gold. This book is from the Indian Psychiatric Society publication, and I also want to give myself some mercy here. I have had three drug overdoses. I've fallen off of a cliff. I've also been sober for 11 years off of hard drugs. Um, Off of booze for about 7 years, off of sex for about 5 years, and I definitely have memory issues, and so sometimes I'll lose track of what I'm thinking, or I'll get sidetracked, and so yeah. So sometimes when I read, this started in my early 30s. I'm gonna be 39 this year, but I started I developed a stutter in my early 30s because of some of the things that I've put myself through, apparently. And now I've recently been diagnosed as having post traumatic stress disorder, which is not surprising at all. I actually have been dealing with nightmares since I was a child, and that's really the main stressor that I've had to deal with is the nightmares. Um, but I've learned a lot, and you can use yoga for post traumatic stress disorder. This book has sequences for people who have schizophrenia, for bipolar, has for elders. It has sequences for people who work with people with schizophrenia. It's and they made these beautiful sequences um, to as a prescription. This would be your prescription. So like this one, validated yoga module for schizophrenia. It lists the breathing practices and um, just it goes through. If you know, you know. If you are into this, you'll love this. If you are studying yoga for prescription, using it for prescriptive purposes, this is the book that you want. Okay, it is called The Science and Art of Yoga in Mental and Neurological Healthcare. Okay, so the lighting in here is peculiar, isn't it? So my studies in yoga have uh, gone into three main focuses. I took a training in teaching trauma informed yoga in prisons, and in that training, I watched a video called Dhamma Brothers, and in that, I learned about something called Vipassana meditation. And Vipassana meditation is a practice where you sit in silence for 9 days, and they were implementing this practice in prisons for people that were serving life, and it was a very healing operation, to say the least. And there was also clapback. People got angry that there was healing happening. They thought that it wasn't, that the prisoners didn't have the right to go through that, and so there's controversy, and that's something that really is something that I've been working on. So myself, I'm looking for my next book. Um, so within working in the prisons, my original interest was in volunteering to teach yoga, and then it turned into wanting to teach specifically this Vipassana meditation. Then I became pregnant, and I was pregnant and homeless, And throughout that, I used yoga. I found a book at the library, a yoga book for pregnancy, and that was kind of like one of the main things that I had to get me through my pregnancy. And so I found myself, when I went back to school, um, studying pregnancy in prisons and teaching for pregnant people in prisons and for homeless pregnant people, and homeless people in general, because I've been homeless without being pregnant. But the so here's a book called Freedom Inside, and this is amazing. It's called underneath it says Yoga and Meditation in the Carceral State, and it really goes into whether the application of, because the discipline of yoga is appropriate in a setting that's already such a disciplinary setting, and does that allow for people to liberate themselves doing that practice, or does that make them have to become more submissive in a way that doesn't help them, and especially if the teachers that are going in, I've come to learn that the ethic of the moral of the ethic of the teacher of doing yoga itself speaks for itself. The practice kind of speaks for itself. The discipline, I love the line. I when I find the video, I'll quote it, but it's discipline is what keeps you delivered, right? So once you've been delivered from whatever it is that God saved you from, you stay delivered by maintaining a healthy discipline, and yoga is one of those offerings of a healthy daily lifestyle discipline. And there's ethics that I definitely have had troubles with, because the way that the words and the blueprints and the ideas are on paper doesn't necessarily translate into everyday life, and it can be it's just I love it. Yoga's been around for so long, and it's served so many people and so many populations, and it's served individuals and collectives. It's served people who are like on their loner paths, and it's also served communities as well. And so it's not so much about getting you into anything or like recommending anything. It really does speak for itself. Like someone like me, I wouldn't necessarily practice my my style of yoga isn't going to be for everyone. But if you've had to deal with mental health or mental therapy or physical therapy, or you're into social justice, you will find yourself drawn to my style of teaching, because it's a natural fit. And it's not about me, it's about the information and us being able to carry it in a dignified and respectable and true way. So then now this book that I'm about to share is a classic. Like if you do any yoga teacher training, you're going to hear about this guy. You're going to hear about BKS Iyengar, and this book, Light on Yoga, and Light on Yoga. Jeez. And there's another one called Light on Pranayama. There's another one called Light on Pranayama, and the one that I'm very excited about as a female, as someone who studies pregnancy and the biology of the female anatomy, his daughter Gita S. Iyengar has a book called Yoga, a Gem for Women. So if you're into yoga for women, get this one, because he is definitely an authority in the world of yoga. teacher trainings, a lot of the stuff lines to his stuff, and he didn't necessarily agree with that. Like he has his own trainings, he has his own methods, and then other people drew from it. So, another book of BKS Iyengar that I think is amazing is called The Tree of Yoga. And this is amazing because it goes into the 8 limbs of yoga, Patanjali's 8 limbs of yoga. And Patanjali is, when you study the 8 limbs of yoga and Patanjali, you're getting more philosophical. You're getting more into a world of philosophy, and that's because yoga is for the mind. Yoga is a tool to help your mind, and how your mind interacts with the rest of reality, and yeah. So it's very exciting. Next up, we have something called the Bhagavad Gita, and there are several different versions you can find. This was the one that was assigned to me in my college class. This Bhagavad Gita, Krishna's Counsel in the Time of War, translated by Barbara Stoler Miller. It's just very small. It's but then you have ones like I have a nice thick one somewhere. And the reason, here we go. This has nothing to do with yoga, but might be a good read. Underground Railroad. Okay, just throwing that one in there. And so Bhagavad Gita is it's an epic. It's a mythical. It's an epic, and you'll find that the bigger books, they're gonna have more in-depth translations of the wording. So this one is only in English, whereas this one, it has the Sanskrit, it has the translation of the words, and then it has commentary on what the words mean. Now this is a fun one because this is called the Yoga of the Bhagavad Gita, and this is by Sri Krishna Prem, and this breaks down the yoga of the Bhagavad Gita. Yeah, I know. So cool. And so then the next one that is important is the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali. And this one's a nice fucking thick one because it has all the fucking translations. Here, this one, Ishvara Pranidhara. I think is. Perhaps the most intriguing question raised by the sutras is the relationship of Patanjali's mysterious Ishvara, the transcendent special Purusa, with other liberated Purusas. According to Coleman, Patanjali's low-key approach to Ishvara was diplomatic, a consequence of maneuvering within the contours of certain later Sankhya traditions that had become dominant in his day. Anyways, yeah, I don't know. But there's another, you will find yourself finding several versions of both the Bhagavad Gita and the sutras. This is another example of the Yoga Sutras inside the Yoga Sutras, and it is, my university teacher, he didn't have us get this book, but I remember seeing him personally carrying this book. So, I don't know if that, but this breaks down, it breaks down the Sanskrit in it, but just the I think it's called the phonetic, the sound of it. It doesn't use the Sanskrit language, the Sanskrit type. Okay, so the reason those are important books is because those are the more ancient, the oldest texts that people study, and those are kind of the philosophies that we get everything else based off of. And it's, from some perspectives, there's something called Raja Yoga, which was created for rich people because they sit around and they're rich all day and they needed to do exercise. And then they tried to introduce yoga as being for the layman. And so personally, when I have my yoga studio, which I have a fundraiser for, I would love it if you would support me. You can support me by subscribing to the channel, liking the video, sharing this video, and donating to my fundraiser. I have 3 fundraisers. One is a personal one for me, for helping me get off the streets and get into my own place. One is for um, the um, the yoga studio, my yoga studio in school, and that's the one you should go to. And the yoga studio in school, what I want to be able to offer are low cost classes because um, it doesn't. I don't think it makes sense to charge a lot of money. That was just always something that stuck out to me, was like it shouldn't be a really expensive endeavor. It should be just kind of like, almost like, yeah, you wake up, you go to your meditation, your yoga class, and go to work. It's not a like a the final destination. Um, but with that said, I have also definitely considered getting paid high money to be uh, personal a personal yoga teacher as well. So make no mistake, it's taken me almost 40 years to recognize that my time has value and I should get paid for it. So, but I do think that some of this is not supposed to be about money. Okay, so anyways, next book, Silence as Yoga. And this is where we return to the Vipassana meditation, because the Vipassana meditation is not of as much of yogic descent, Hindu, as much as it would be Buddhist, and it has a little bit more of a Buddhist ethic in it. Um, I started studying silence after I learned about Vipassana meditation, and it started with 3 days of oh, started with 3 days of silence, and then it went to 22 days of silence. And it's something that I crave doing, is just being in silence. And so here's a book called Silence as Yoga, and it's by Swami Paramananda. And there's another one that I found that kind of, it seems like it has a little bit more of a um, dark um, like how silence gets used as, in oppressive ways. Um, yep. Now, oh my god, if I got rid of those books, I'm gonna be really disappointed. So there's 2 other ones that I really want to share. Yeah, this is The Silence Unheard, Deathly Otherness in Patanjali Yoga. It has like a little bit of a darkness to it, but the I've been studying this for 20 years, like by myself, and I get so excited. I'm not by myself, but I'm by myself. Like, I love this stuff. I don't know. I hope that this video reaches someone who wants to learn about yoga. So this is a book called Yoga and Yogic Powers. And this is something that you will study if you're trying to do the like crazy, like pulling cloth through your nose, or like burying your head in the sand, like things with oh, look at what page we turned to. Your guardian angel. I love that. Let's see what it says. It is the invisible beings which control and direct the action of the visible world. It was the invisible cosmic being which created matter and the earth we inhabit. The invisible beings have an active life. The real activity starts after the fall of the body. So, that kind of yoga you don't really see as much in trauma-informed yoga practice, in like the therapeutics, because it's actually kind of could be dangerous, and in some from some perspectives it's very dangerous. But from that perspective, it's just a part of the practice, and I think it's like I'm not recommending it for anyone. If I do it myself, I'll share it with you, but I'm not recommending anyone do any of this really. It's I love it. Anyway, so my studies in teaching in the carceral world is what brought me to this fucking awesome book, Best Practices for Yoga in the Criminal Justice System. And this is really helpful if you're trying to start your own nonprofit, or if you're trying to start your own teacher training, or if you're trying to get into teaching in prisons. This is a gem for you. And this is also a gem for anyone who is interested in working with pregnant people. Yoga for Pregnancy and Birth, a guide for yoga teachers. Something, last but not least, oh man, there's just too many good ones. This is a really good one too. Is This Yoga? Concepts, Histories, and the Complexities of Modern Practice by Anya Foxen and Krista Kuberry. This was assigned in my university class, and this one, of the books that I've seen, this is a good one. Okay, last but not least, I want to share the Aquarian Gospel of Jesus the Christ. And this book is about when Jesus went through the kind of his yogic studies, more or less, if I understand it correctly. And so, yep, there's a lot of books. If you're more into like the anatomical, like learning like the body parts and like the names of the muscles, and you're gonna want to find books like these. You're gonna want to find like the key muscles of Hatha Yoga. This type of book breaks down the muscles and the joints and in the postures. It's fascinating. It's amazing. And then another thing you might, there's several types of books you can get on chakras. This is just one that I have found that is more I don't know, like traditional. I don't know. It's like, it's definitely, it was printed in, oh look, here's Ganesh. So it's definitely, it was written in 87. That's the year I was born. And this is chakras are also a part of anatomy. So that's something to think about. So, yeah. So I guess maybe I want to end this with telling you the name of my website, SmilingSacrumYoga.com, SmilingSacrumYoga.com. Visit that. You can read some of my essays. I have a piece of artwork you can print out for free if you want, if you like the art. I have a call to action on that website for a nonprofit I'm working on, and my crowdfunder for my yoga studio, which I want to open in the next year. It costs about $500,000 to open a brand new yoga studio. And so that's my goal, is to raise $500,000. And so if you want to help me with that, I haven't decided yet what kind of perks I'm going to give to people who give to my yoga school. But it will probably be something like honorable mentions, right? You know, if you want to be noted, some people stay anonymous. It will be some kind of, probably you'll get a few months of yoga if you're in the area, and or access to something. There'll be something, but I haven't thought of like a full thing, and I don't want to mislead you. I really am just putting it out there to say I'm trying to open up the. You'll get the perk of having this school open too, and getting to come to my yoga school. And there's several non-profit projects that I'm working on that will be functioning out of that school, and I look forward to it. So please share this video with someone who you think will get the information that they need. And if you, yeah, I'll post the crowdfunder link in my description box. It's also on my page. And I love yoga. Happy International Yoga Day. Thank you for being you. And I could keep talking about this for hours, so I have to stop. God bless you. Namaste.